Yes, so Aivar Rukel is already here. I'll give you the floor, and while you take your place, I think there is not a single person in Estonia who doesn't know the Soomaa region with the unique fjords and ecosystem, and everyone knows Aivar Rukel as well, as part of the community, but also because of the dugout boats. But today we're going to hear a bit deeper look at how this tradition of the boat making also links with the regional identity and traditions. So I'm very curious myself, and I'm very happy to give you the floor for your presentation.
Thank you. And I hope to do it within 15 minutes, right? This is what I've got, so that nobody will be angry on me at coming late to the lunch. So, yeah, I am Aivar Rukel. I come from Soomaa. I am been guiding there. I'm a nature guide and also one of the builders of these traditional expanded dugout canoes. Very happy to be here, and it was a pleasure to listen the examples from Latvia, Finland, and I'm happy also having this personal experience of being in Kaustend and participating in this big crowd, both in a pub and also in a school hall. So the building and use of expanded dugout boats in Estonia's Soomaa region was added to UNESCO Intangible Cultural Heritage List in the need of urgent safeguarding list in December 3 years ago. And such similar boats are built in many places of the world, on all continents except Antarctica. But in European Union, Soomaa is the only place. And until the mid-19th century, these boats was used in a daily transport and fishing. Soomaa translates as a land of mares, and it is a landscape region in southwest Estonia. It is about 1,550 square kilometers, and it's a wilderness area with a flat terrain. A third of the landscape are mares, and also the landscape is shaped by the rivers and forests, including some floodplain forests that are regularly flooded. So the place identity as defined by Finnish scholar Paasi refers to the elements of nature, culture, and regional life, people, that distinguish the region from all the others. So for Soomaa, it is a fifth season, what has been also mentioned already, and which makes it different, which is a regular flooding, what can occur several times even per year. So these regular floods are a combined result of the flat relief, also small haze of differences in the lower reaches of the rivers, and many small streams that come together to close to each other. So the place is also very sparsely populated during last 6, 7, 8,000 of years. But when Estonia was settled by people, it was one of the most densely populated areas. So oldest settlement of Pulli is located on Pärnu River, but also not only, but many Mesolithicum founds of hunters, fishers, gatherers. These hunters, fishers, gatherers of Stone Age, they hunted, they fished, and they also took some long distance trade and travel. But none of the boats of them has been found. Although the oldest logboat is about 10,000 years, it is found in Netherlands. Also, Soomaa is located on this ancient trade route between Pärnu Bay and Lake Peipus. This has been marked as one large river on nearly all medieval maps to be found. And luckily, all plans to turn these water bodies into inland waterways later by using canals have failed. So 31 years ago, the national park was established to protect the region's natural and cultural heritage. And the national park is about 1/4 of the before-mentioned Soomaa landscape region. Soomaa is an extensive flat area of 5 large bogs, separated by unregulated rivers and floodplain meadows. Being a representative and valuable part of the remaining large wilderness area. And wetland is also important for the nesting birds, especially mire birds, and stopover site for migrating birds. Inhabitants of Soomaa have been building dugout boats to get around during these flood times. And with advent of modern and cheaper boat types, of course, these boats no longer have such importance in everyday life. So the stories, legends, and rituals that surround this dugout boat are even maybe today more valuable compared to the practical use of these boats. Historically, dugout boats have also been used in other Estonian regions. So across Pärnu River basin in Soomaa region, but also in the west coast on Kasari River and Matsalu Bay, and also on Emajõgi River and its tributary Ahja River in eastern Estonia. This has been well documented by Ilmari Manninen, the man on a photo who was the first director of Estonian National Museum. So use of these dugout boats, it has been very important for the local people, and it has formed an essential part of everyday culture. Until 60s, dugout boats were used for daily transport on the rivers, to go to shop, to go to dairy, like on a photo on the left, or to take kids to the school or go to the church with a family. Even hay was transported by dugout boats by placing several boats together. And of course, for fishing, it has been a loved boat. But during spring floods, this regular farm work was suspended, and there was more time for socializing. And also for this dugout boats was essential. So today, the uses of dugout boats have changed due to modern and cheaper boat types, and also extensive road network. However, the recreational use, like including nature trips and cultural meaning, have been preserved. And boats occupy an important place in the identity of the villages of Soomaa. So you see also in old photos people using it not just for work or for transport, but for the just for fun and for the socializing. With the long-term sustainability, there are few threats, or I like to see them as challenges. The first is insufficient of or not enough builders. Today there are 5 master builders, all are 50 plus, I being one of these 5 men. And the main threat for preservation of the boat culture is this interruption of continuity in transmitting boat building skills during coming decades. So relatively low interest is among young people for the boat building, and also on the presentations before, some of these reasons was mentioned, like there are many alternatives for hobbies, and sometimes more often we see they are they prefer to sit in mobile phones. Also this general worsening of manual, including woodworking skills, and actually quite weak economic viability of building such dugout boats. So there is a lack of visible career options for the possible boat master builders. So our main challenge is to ensure the continuing and long-term interest of young people. Secondly, there is not a huge demand for such boats. So it is directly linked to the building of boats, the interest of society about dugout boat culture, including the demand for new boats. So probably most important motivating factor for both today and tomorrow's boat builders to preserve and refine the skills would be the sufficient number of commissions for new boats. And also there is a relatively high price of the boat compared to modern plastic boats. But at the same time, this threat also contains some opportunities, because the leisure use of dugout boats has been preserved and renewed. And these days, mostly it is expressed through nature and heritage trips on the rivers of Soomaa, as well as through events of dugout boat masters and enthusiasts. These risks we also defined and identified for the inscription to the UNESCO list, and one of them is also related to the ecology. So there is a risk that the raw material, the huge enough aspen trees, which should be at least 70, 80 years old, and the diameter of the height of 6 meters, about half meter. So in Estonian forest, as a result of today's forest industry activity, such logs exist, but these modern practices may lead to a situation where aspen trees are cut down when they are too young or too thin, or it makes the same, to become material for the boat building. And the fourth threat is the demographic situation in Soomaa. So the number of residents is on decline, and this trend is continuing, including to the aging of population. So this may lead to a situation where the local community will not remain as a strong partner for dugout boat builders in the future as it is now. And also the symbolic importance of the boat in the future may disappear. So these threats justify the close communication and collaboration between both builders and the local community is very much needed. So our government has placed the natural and cultural heritage of Soomaa region under protection by establishing a national park 30 years ago. And dugout boat building is an essential part of the local cultural heritage, so safeguarding this tradition is also one of the aims of the national park. Another good news is this listing on the UNESCO Living Heritage list, as our region now became part of the UNESCO family, how it is kind of called, and it is becoming more and more important theme for National Tourist Board Visit Estonia, who run the marketing of Estonia as a destination for foreigners. So national parks brought tourists, and this UNESCO recognition, I hope, will bring kind of quality for the tourism development. And at least being part of the tourism sector, being guiding people for 30 years, I see here a kind of hope and strong opportunity that this boat will also survive in the future, the use of it and also the building tradition. So trying to connect it with this place identity, I kind of created a graph where you see this vicious circle when the heritage of the boat building and using is a strong part of the place identity and contributes to it. But the place identity, again, forms the foundation for the tourism development. And tourism development, if managed in a correct way, it can then contribute to the preservation of the boat heritage. So thank you very much. I hope I managed even with this 15 minutes, and there is even more time for questions.
Super, Ivar. Thank you. Thank you for the wonderful presentation. So let's reserve a moment for a few questions. Should there be? Yes, please. And 1 and 2. Wait. I'll run to you.
Many thanks. That fascinating insight into a beautiful part of the world. It's a crude question. In the UK now at the moment, we have lots of beaches where I live in Wales, and every other car that turns up at the beach has a paddleboard, a blow-up paddleboard.
Sorry, what is this?
A paddleboard. So you inflate it.
I see. Mm-hmm.
You inflate it, and people love it. They're all out paddling away, and so it seems to me that you have this sort of environmentally friendly and sort of deeply cultural opportunity. So my crude question is literally, at a commercial level, what would a log boat cost to produce?
I have been only selling one before we entered the Eurozone. But my colleague was just selling 2 of them a few years ago. And the price was somewhere between 5,000 and 10,000 euros for one boat.
Okay. And quick, you say aspen trees.
Yes.
Is there evidence of other trees being used across the Baltic states?
Yes, also in this village stories, you can read that the best gift that you can give for your daughter when your daughter gets married is a dugout boat made of a linden tree.
Linden trees?
Yes, but in a forest you don't really see linden trees which are so huge and also without branches and straight and form of pencil. But I have been very lucky to get to such logs from the man in a neighboring village when he had 4 linden trees just very close to the house, and he said that they are too dangerous, so every stormy night he cannot sleep and he will cut these trees anyway. So he thought that maybe one of them could be okay for the boat as a material, and actually 2 of them was.
Right.
So linden and aspen, they are both soft material. So for this expanding with help of fire, heating with fire and making it wet from inside. So the half-meter slog becomes a 1 meter wide boat.
Okay, I understand. Great.
Thank you for the interest.
Thank you, Ivar, for such a wonderful presentation. It's so exciting to see the dugout boats coming back to life. You're talking about the influence of tourism and the development of tourism and how you saw that being part of a circle to potentially protect the practice. Have you thought about the threat that tourism might also bring to this region, and particularly with people seeking new experiences and sometimes too many people?
Oh, yes, sure. And I am very much aware of the negative sides and the risks of with the tourism developing and visitors coming, and not often like too many visitors, but just wrong kind of people behaving in a strange or destructive way, and being in wrong places, doing wrong things. But this positive side here is connected to putting a new value for these interesting things in our living heritage, and that can be, of course, then commercialized, but commercialized or kind of supported in kind of intelligent way, and otherwise. I don't think tourism is something that can help against all the troubles, and I mean, rarely tourism alone is a positive form of economy. The best examples are when it is in combination with traditional land use and other economic sectors, just kind of one part of the puzzle, yeah.
Well, my question was about the same topic about over-tourism, because it is what used to happen with UNESCO places like Tilcara, Machu Picchu, and so on. Is like over-tourism, and that over-tourism destroy the place and not bring not benefit the local people, and this kind of construction became more like a Pinterest hobby or museum, and is not used for any purpose that it don't involve the tourism or the photograph, like something. Is the same issue, and I just want to go deeper inside that topic.
I just add, based on own experience, like 2 things. One, of course, the best thing that could happen to me was that 30 years ago this national park was established in our kind of back doors where my parents' place, and that I have had luck to operate as a local tourism guide in the national park. One thing is that it is a great brand value, the national park. Usually people who are interested in nature or local culture, they seek for the national parks if they go to like a new country. And the other thing is really related to this management of negative impacts. So if it is a protected area, then there is some protection regime. There are some certain rules, there are zoning, and there are also authorities who are responsible for protecting these values. So as a tour operator, as a local guide, you have a partner that with whom together you can kind of take to plan it, to do it in the way that it doesn't harm, or at least also there is somebody who could also make some rules. So for as an over-tourism in Soomaa, there are maybe two issues so far that we have seen. One is actually this flood time. Sometimes there are just too many people coming on the weekends when it is flooded, and they don't really also know where to go with their own boats. And it gets kind of also problem with the local roads, because roads are sometimes sand roads, and it is a time when snow is melting and these roads are just becoming very bad because of a lot of cars. And one more specific issue is, I didn't talk about this, but it is walking on the peatlands. So these big bogs, we also do guided walks using bog shoes, an old also traditional way of walking the wet peatlands, and there is also like problems with too much people in a same place, and there are then measures that can be taken to avoid it. So if it is not a protected area, it is like something that is with open access. There is no really easy ways to control it or to manage it, to manipulate in a positive way.
Thank you. And for the last question here.
Yes, thank you. It's more maybe like a comment. My name is Margit Siim, and I'm from Estonian National Commission for UNESCO. And first, of course, thank you, Ivar, for your presentation. You are inspiring as ever. And I just wanted to mention that the issue that was also raised here about maybe commercialization and tourism. And I think that one of the key issues here is that the society of boat builders and the community of Soomaa, the community itself, they really are the ones who have shaped the way they present their tradition to the world, and it is their interests and their benefit. It's not like there is some corporate outsider who is going to take advantage of their tradition, which can also be a very dangerous issue in the world. And another thing that Ivar also mentioned was that our state institution that is developing cultural tourism has taken an interest in UNESCO designations and is working with us to how to present the UNESCO designations as such to people in Estonia and also abroad, so that they are presented in a sustainable way, of course. And I think this has a great potential, this network, and I hope that it will benefit one and all. Thank you.
Thank you, Margit. Just a very short comment. In a tourism theory, they see these two ways of developing tourism. It is one way is developing from demand, and the other one is developing from supply. So it is something that on a grassroots level, you, based on what you have, you kind of put it together and bring the message to the market, and then you also can change what you really offer within this local grassroots with your other partners. But if it is brought in from source markets, then of course the logic behind is theirs. So local logic is what can help. Thank you.
Thank you, Ivar. Round of applause.
Yep.
Definitely, if you've not been on Soomaa and not participated in workshops in canoe making,